I'd like to call the meeting to order of the Salisbury City Council on November the 23rd. I'd like to welcome everybody, both here and watching us on PAC 14. At this time, if you're in the room, please silence your cell phones. And if you have to take a call, please feel free to go out into the hallway and make that call. Also, in case of an emergency, if you exit the building orderly through this door and to the right and down the stairs, that's fine. If there, for some reason that exit is blocked, you may go to the left and do the same, make a right at the end of the hall, down the stairs. Please do not use the elevators in case of emergency. At this point, I'd like to invite Pastor Clarence Pope of the Unity Christian Fellowship of Salisbury to the podium for our invocation.
First, I'd like to thank you for inviting me to be with you tonight. Let us pray. Our Father and our God, it is in your name that we come together, and we thank you for allowing us to assemble ourselves once again in this place and at this hour. We acknowledge you in our lives, and we recognize that we live and move and have our being in you, and that without you we can do nothing. We offer our hearts, our minds, our souls to you, that you might direct this meeting so that all that we both say and do will be pleasing in your sight. Bless each member of the council, the mayor, and everyone here assembled with their families. And as we approach this day set aside for Thanksgiving, an edited and revised version of a Thanksgiving prayer by Samuel F. Pugh. O God, when we have food, help us to be thankful. Help us to remember the hungry. When we have work, help us to be thankful. Help us to remember the jobless. When we have a home, help us to be thankful. Help us to remember those who have no home at all. When we are without pain, help us to be thankful. Help us to remember those who suffer. And remembering, help us to destroy complacency and be compassionate and concerned enough to help, both by word and deed, those who cry out for what we take for granted. To you, O God, be glory, honor, and all praise. Amen and amen.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor Pope. Please join me now in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This evening, we have several things prior to the agenda, so I'd ask Mayor Day to please give the proclamation.
Are you going to come join me?
So I've asked, good evening, Mr. President, Council. I have asked Ms. Kordakowski, our business development specialist, just to come join me. We will be making a tour of some of the small businesses in downtown Salisbury, and I just wanted Laura to come up here. Laura, you've actually worked with many of these businesses. Do you want to mention some of the ones we're going to see?
Yeah, sure. We actually have 16 businesses that are participating, and a lot of those were just last-minute additions. Really encouraging you to go see Art Institute and Gallery, Chesapeake East, Kuhn's Jewelers, Barefoot Baby Boutique, Brew River, Downtown Bridal, Enza's Organic Salon, Market Street and Mojo's, Angelo's Unique Gifts, Season's Best, Main Roots, Dryden Dress Company, Corsets and Cogs, Sushi de Kanpai, and Edit Salon. Those are all participating businesses that are offering some sort of deal in downtown Salisbury.
Fantastic.
Thank you, Laura. And you can actually go onto the Downtown Salisbury Facebook page and look at some of those deals. You know, the thing I love about our small businesses and downtown businesses is that you could probably make an entire day out of going to all of those trips. And then you'd have to bring your small business Saturday, shop small satchel to fill with goodies. I think from Angela's alone, you could fill that. Next year, we'll hand out Small Business Saturday duffel bags. We'll think ahead next time. We've got a proclamation here, and we want to, of course, celebrate them. And we're thankful, of course, in this time as well for what they bring to our economy. So tonight, let me say this. Whereas the U.S. Small Business Administration statistics indicate there are currently 27.9 million small businesses in the U.S., which represent 99.7% of American employer firms, create more than 2/3 of new net jobs, and generate 46% of private gross domestic product, as well as 54% of all U.S. sales. And whereas consumer polls in the United States indicate that 89% of consumers agree that small businesses contribute positively to the local community by supplying jobs and generating tax revenue, 87% agree that small businesses are critical to the overall economic health of the United States, and 93% agree that it is important for people to support the small businesses that they value in their communities. And whereas small businesses employ over 55% of the working population of the United States, and the City of Salisbury supports and celebrates our local businesses that create jobs, boost our local economy, and preserve our neighborhoods. And whereas advocacy groups, as well as public and private organizations across the country, have endorsed the Saturday after Thanksgiving as Small Business Saturday, now therefore I, Jacob Arday, Mayor of the City of Salisbury, do hereby proclaim November 28th, 2015 as Small Business Saturday, and I urge everyone to get out and support our small businesses owned by people right here in this community. Let's hear it for the small businesses. Thank you, Laura.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Any comments from the council? Mr. Ireton?
Shop small this Saturday.
Jackson?
Yes, I do have a question. The times that people are open, we're finding that there is not uniform time up and down the plaza that people are open. People are showing up at one place and it's open, and then the next one's not. Are we open the whole day, Saturday, the same times, everybody? Nobody's gonna have the thing that says, I'll be back in 10 minutes, or ran to the bathroom, or do we know whether or not the time is uniform throughout the entire?
It's not uniform, but they did all send me their list of open times.
Okay.
That's available on Facebook.
Okay.
That being said, it's a really good question, if I may, Mr. President. Mr. Ireton, that's a really good question. And although there's not a legislated opening and closing time, there are a lot of downtowns that have done that through the municipality, that have said you will be open these hours, just like a mall does. So it's something we could certainly have a conversation about.
And I'd just like to add my congratulations to the small businesses who have chosen to be part of our community and encourage everyone. I'll be down there, and Laura was kind enough to give my wife 2 bags, so I know she'll be down there as well. So, thank you.
Subtle
for that,
suggestion.
Laura. Okay. We are very lucky tonight to have 2 community organization presentations. And at this time, I would like to ask Jenny Pastasek and to come up to the podium. And she is giving a presentation on behalf of the Wycomico County Department of Social Services Foster and Adoption Program. Jenny, thank you for coming.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. And you hit the nail on the head with my last name. Thank you. Yeah, I want to thank the council for the opportunity to make time for this presentation tonight, because it's about something very serious that's going on in our local community. And I think Pastor Polk also hit the nail on the head with his prayer, talking about being thankful for your home, because there are people, children out there that don't have a safe home to live in. And that's what I'm here to talk about, foster homes and adoption homes. I want to take a second and ask you, many of you have children and grandchildren. Now, Think about this. Imagine them not having the opportunity to be raised in a caring, loving, safe, and nurturing home. Probably not something that you want to even imagine, let alone see with your own eyes. But the sad reality is that there are many children in our very own community that live under these circumstances every day. Home with their birth parents is not ideal or safe. And it is the job of the Department of Social Services to find them homes and families to provide them with resources and support to thrive and grow into the best person that they can possibly be. So in Wycomico County, there is a need for foster homes. Currently, the Department of Social Services, they have 29 children in foster and adoption programs, ages 3 months old to 20 years and 11 months, because at age 21, you age out of the program. So all ages, all races, they're coming from homes that aren't safe, and they need a safe place to be, to grow, and to be nurtured. In FY15, there was one report of a reunification, which is the ultimate goal. The ultimate goal of children in foster care is to reunify them with their birth parents. Help those birth parents get on, a plan to be in a better place so they can have their children back. And in FY16 also one reunification. But the program still has 6 children right now that have specialized needs that live right now outside of the Tri-County area. Not in Wycomico, not in Worcester, not in Somerset. They're in group homes that actually can care for them because we don't have them here. So 6 children moved from here outside of the area because we couldn't meet their needs. Some other stats, of the 29 children in care, there are 5 sibling groups, which is a total of 11 children. I'm going to talk about sibling groups in just a second. And in FY15, they closed 9 cases, 3 adoptions, 1 guardianship, and 4 aged out of the program. 7 children entered foster care in FY15. In FY16, they closed 5 cases, 2 adoptions, 2 guardianships, 1 reunification, and 8 children entered foster care. This could be anything from sexual abuse allegations to parental drug and alcohol abuse. So we're removing the kids from those situations to give them a chance. It's very important for the Department of Social Services when they work with a potential resource parent, foster parent, that they understand it's not about finding a child for you, it's about finding the best fit family and home for a child in need. I can't have children with my husband. I'm not going to call the Department of Social Services because I want a baby. It's totally different. It's a whole different ballgame. Another need that all 3 counties are seeing in the Tri-County area is finding homes that take in sibling groups. This is very important to do because they want to keep those sibling groups together. They're already being torn from their parents, so why not try and keep that family unit as much as possible together, which is obviously in the best interest of the children. So on behalf of the Department of Social Services, they will continue to create awareness for the needs of children in this local community and surrounding communities that will hopefully spark a family to consider the possibility of taking in a child and fostering a child or a sibling group. This week, we're celebrating Thanksgiving and giving thanks for all that we have. But keep in mind, there are children out there who don't have much at all. They need us to advocate for them, share their stories, and connect them with the resources and support they need to thrive and grow. Thank you for your attention, and have a wonderful Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Jenny. Jenny, one thing I probably should have asked is, if people are interested in this, what's the best contact?
Yeah.
No, you if you go back, I apologize.
That's okay. It's going to come up on the screen. It's going to have it on the screen. People, if they want more information or they're interested in finding out if their home is a right fit, they need to call Nishant Sims. Nishant is the Regional Resource Home Recruiter for the Department of Social Service is in Wycomico, Worcester, and Somerset. And the phone number is 410-713-3959. Nishant's here with me tonight, and she's basically takes the phone calls, and people can ask questions and ask, what's the next step. There's an informational session that they need to go to, and then obviously training is involved, definitely. So they can call Nishant, and she'll answer any questions.
Thank you. Okay, our second presentation tonight is from Memory Cafe at Atria Senior Living. And I'd ask Megan O'Neill, who is the Atria Community Sales Director, and Carol Zimmerman, the Alzheimer's Association Development and Community Relations Director.
Thank you, Mr. President, Mr. Mayor, members of the council, the audience, Pastor. I'm Carol Zimmerman. I am the Development and Outreach Coordinator for the Alzheimer's Association. This is Megan O'Neill with the Atria. She's the community salesperson with Atria Senior Living here. We're here to talk about an exciting new program. But first, I'd like to tell you a little bit about why we're doing this. Alzheimer's disease affects 99,000 people in Maryland, and hundreds of thousands of more family members are directly affected. In Salisbury, there are 850 people living with a diagnosis of dementia.
1,800.
1,850. Did I say 850? Mm-hmm. I wish. In your packet, I've included some fairly grim statistics. 1 in 3 seniors dies with Alzheimer's or another kind of dementia, and it is the only cause of death in the top 10 causes of death that cannot be prevented or cured. In addition to advancing research, the mission of Alzheimer's Association is to provide and enhance care and support for all those affected and to reduce the risk of dementia through the promotion of brain health. So both of those missions are about to, we hope, be helped with this particular program. We're about to announce a program for those people with early stage Alzheimer's. In partnership with Atria, the Alzheimer's Association is starting the first memory cafe on the Eastern Shore here in Salisbury. The challenges of memory loss can sever social connections at a time when it's needed the most. Memory cafe gatherings are one way people with memory loss and their care companions can come together and make new friendships in an atmosphere of understanding. And I'll turn it over to Megan to let you have her describe a little bit about what that might look like.
Hi there. So Atria Senior Living has been serving families in this community for about 18 years on Healthway Drive here in Salisbury. We're committed to providing the most engaged, highest quality of lifestyle for all of our residents. One of the things, as Carol alluded to, is that when dementia first starts, people hide the symptoms from their family members. They're aware that something's going on, but they're afraid to admit it to themselves and to the other people that they're close with. We're going to provide a safe, warm environment in our Atria Senior Living community that brings people together and allows them to have fun, have social connections, to extend themselves out into the community in a supportive, non-judgmental environment, and to plan for what will ultimately become a more difficult lifestyle, but to do that in a supportive, engaged lifestyle, engaged memory cafe atmosphere. We're going to be launching this in March. The RSVPs will come directly to Atria Senior Living. I think you have a phone number for the Alzheimer's Association on the screen if you're watching at home. And you can look up more information about Atria Senior Living at atriaseniorliving.com.
So in this time of Thanksgiving, we'd be very thankful. We're going to make an ask of you, and that ask is to help us with our outreach. As we put together the details for the Memory Cafe, we'll have flyers, we'll have information, and any ways in which you can help us communicate with people that you come into contact with, families that you may know, calls that you may get. We would love to involve them in this program. It's not a support group, it's not an educational forum. Those exist as well, and we can provide information about that. But this is the first cafe here on the Eastern Shore where there'll be a place where people who are experiencing memory loss can meet with other people who are and not, and can have a way to communicate. So thank you very much and have a very happy Thanksgiving.
Just 1 second. I think maybe we have some questions. Mr. Mayor?
Just real quick, you've got a well-connected group of people here who can help you get that information out. But we will also help Krista Moan, who may have already stepped
He
out.
stepped out.
Chris Damone, our public information officer, is right there waving. He and I will work together to make sure that we help get that information out for you.
Excellent, that'd be terrific. Thank you very much.
Mr. Ireton, any comments?
No, sir, thank you.
Ms. Jackson? Thank you for all you do. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
Okay, at this point, I would accept a motion to adopt the legislative agenda.
So moved.
We have a motion by Mr. Boda and a second by Ms. Jackson. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion's carried. I'll entertain a motion to approve the November 16th minutes.
So moved.
Mr. Boda made a motion. Second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Jackson. Any discussion?
Just as from the, completely drew a blank there. If we weren't here or on the council, should we be voting for or against
This was from the
those?
16th, this was from the swearing in.
Oh, that was that?
That was
Oh, I can vote on that one.
That was us.
Good.
It was a blur that night.
It was a blur. It was a complete blur.
All right, having cleared that up.
I feel like it was so long ago.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion carried. Okay. I'll entertain a motion to approve the award of bids.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Boda,
Second?
second by Mr. Ireton. Any discussion? All those
Yes.
Yes.
Please, just a question, and I've been through this twice now with the chief and with the city clerk. This says contract 114-16 is body cameras, and on here it says tasers.
Taser International is the manufacturer
Of the body.
of the Axon line of body cameras.
So it's just semantics that is tripping me up.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
then I have
Yes,
no
they do
discussion.
make tasers.
I do have a question.
Taser makes the camera?
There's a question, Mr. Boda.
Or
has a
does she
question.
need to talk first? I don't think so.
Want me to go through it?
Yeah, go through it. and
Okay.
You probably have maybe, hopefully answer the question.
So the first item this evening is for the award of bid, contract 114-16. It's the purchase of the body camera system for the Salisbury Police Department. The Internal Services Department Procurement Division received a request from the Salisbury Police Department to purchase 70 Axon body camera systems supporting software and data storage from Taser International. This complete system will integrate effortlessly with the Taser products and the Evidence.com data storage system currently in use by the Salisbury Police Department. Additionally, the line of Axon and Evidence.com products are only manufactured and available for purchase from Taser International. I did list in your packet a breakdown of the items, the actual body camera systems, the docks, the annual payments, the license, and the full service fee. Per section 2.32.050, which is the procedure for competitive bidding of the Salisbury Code of Ordinances, that states that sole source procurement may be utilized as a method of source selection when there is only one available source for the subject of a procurement contract, and thus the contract may be awarded without competition to that source. Attached is a copy of the Taser International sole source justification letter which supports this method of procurement. There are sufficient funds in the noted account, which is the Police Services Equipment account. Upon award, it is intended that this equipment will be leased utilizing the financial lease services contract that was awarded to Bank of America at the November 9th council meeting. The Procurement Department requests council's approval to award this contract 114-16 Salisbury Police Department body cameras to Taser International in the amount of $178,831.20.
Questions?
I have one question. So the Evidence.com annual payments, we're purchasing 3 years for $126,000. That's for 3 years.
Yes.
It's not an annual.
It is, but I combined all 3 years
All 3
together.
years, okay.
I don't have any question about the awarding of it. The policy considerations and recommendations on the collection and analysis of the data, the storage, disclosure, and retention, destruction of data, the secondary use and repurposing of data. Are we going to get into that before we put these on our officers? Because I think it's going to be necessary across the country. What we're finding out now is there are very few places that have very strict guidelines as to when the camera goes on, when the camera goes off, which way the camera is pointing, how long this data stays. So I'm okay with doing it because we've been moving in this direction, and we know that it's taken several more months than it would because everybody else is getting cameras as well. But my consideration now moves to implementation, when it's turned on, when it's turned off, who it's pointed at, how much access do we have inside the department after something happens. You don't want reports written based on the pictures. You want reports based on incident recollection. I'm just, if we want to put that on a work session coming up, I think that'd be something to talk about. But other than that, I mean, and thanks to the chief for finding a company that would trip me up semantically.
Mr. Mayor?
Yeah, if I may, two things I think we want to bring to council. One, a discussion of policy and a presentation from the police department on policy. And two, clear notification to council and the public as to when they will be deployed, when they will be received and deployed, so that you know when the 70 units are out there.
Can I ask a question? How many officers do we have?
I'm going to ask
the
chief to answer those questions for you.
There might be some follow-up, so come up to the podium.
Good evening. And
Good evening.
what was the question? How many officers do we have? We are budgeted for 102 sworn members.
You're budgeted for. Do we have 102 active officers now?
No, we do not. We have on payroll right now, we have 92 officers.
Okay. That's all I want to know. The 70. I just want to know if the 70 was compatible with what we have on the force that will be operating and using those 70 cameras, body cameras. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions for the chief? Thank you, Chief.
Okay, are you ready for me to move on to the next one?
Yes.
Okay.
Please.
The next item is change order number 1 to contract A-28-15. That's the asphalt patching program that we have. The City of Salisbury Internal Services Department, Procurement Division, received a request from the Department of Public Works to process change order number 1 in the amount of $25,000 to the noted contract. Additional funds have come available to provide for parallel parking on South Park Drive for the new Salisbury Skate Park. Funds are available in the noted account, which is the Salisbury Skate Park construction account. The Department of Internal Services, Procurement Division, requests council's approval for change order number 1 as noted above to George and Lynch Incorporated in the amount of $25,000.
Any questions?
Okay, and then the last item is also a change order. It relates to the skate park as well. This is change order number 6. I didn't reflect that it was a change order on your agenda packet, but it is change order number 6 to contract A-07-14. That's what we call the street improvements or the curb, gutter, and sidewalk construction. The City of Salisbury Internal Services Department, Procurement Division received a request from the Department of Public Works to process change order number 6 in the amount of $8,500 for contract A-07-14. Additional funds have come available to provide for the curb and gutter work along South Park Drive to allow parallel parking for the new Salisbury Skate Park. Funds are available in the noted account, which is the same one that the asphalt paving came from. The Department of Internal Services, Procurement Division, requests council's approval to award this contract, or the change order number 6, to Malone and Phillips in the amount of $8,500.
Questions? Okay.
Okay, thank you.
If there's no other discussion, I'd like to accept the motion to approve the award of bids. Mr. Voda, second by Ms. Jackson. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion carried. We now have a motion to approve resolution of number 2569 to approve the FY16 bond insurance issuance presented by City Administrator Mr. Stevenson.
Good evening, Mr. Council President, members of the council and audience, those of you viewing at home. Resolution 2569 authorizes and empowers the City of Salisbury to issue and sell a general obligation bond in the amount of $4,726,200. This is being done pursuant to Article 23A of the Annotated Code of Maryland, Sections SC 7-46 and SC 7-48 of the City Charter, and Ordinance Number 2357, which passed on October 14th, 2015. This bond shall be known as the Public Improvement Bond of 2015. The funds will cover the cost of the Main Street Master Plan project, or should I say a portion thereof, at approximately $2.2 million, the East Main Street Storm Drain project at approximately $350,000, the Beaver Dam Creek Tidal Dam repairs at approximately $1.2 million, and a 24-inch water main on West Gordy Road at a cost of approximately $1 million. The bond will bear interest at 2.15% and shall be repaid over a 10-year period with the first payment due on December 1st, 2016. Again, the amount for the bond, the 2015 Public Improvement Bond is $4,726,200. Thank you.
Any questions from Mr. Stevenson? All right, hearing none, I call for a motion to approve resolution number 2569.
Second.
Motion to approve by Mr. Boda, second by Mr. Ireton. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion's passed.
Thank you.
Any public comments?
No, sir.
Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All, did you get that? Okay. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion adjourned.
6:35.
We'll only send you all one item a night, or one item per meeting.